Hi guys, welcome to my Word of the Day Wednesdays. I am Nicole D. Miller, author of Stories for the Urban Soul. Stories for the Urban Soul is a compilation of short stories, novellas, which are just short novels, and poetry depicting Black characters dealing with everyday life issues, from heartbreak to social injustices to parenting to divorce to college life, the whole gamut. These characters are relatable, and yet it does have a spiritual undertone. So encouraging, hope-filled, kind of makes you feel like chicken soup for the Black people, for the urban soul, and people who love Black culture. So this is my baby. I self-published this year in May. It's actually my third book that I've self-published. The first is How to Overcome Heartbreak, Recovering from Misguided Love. I share my story of healing from a breakup, what helped me that can help you and others. Then the sequel is How to Overcome Heartbreak, Stories That Heal, where I interview 7 other women and 4 other men and share more from me. All are available on my website, NicoleDMiller.com. Let's get started. Welcome to Word of the Day Wednesdays, where I discuss basically topics that are in line with the latest blog post. So this week, my last blog post was Unsought Provision. And I really was just in a space of meditating on God's goodness, because I think so often we get used to basically things that are already given to us. It's like it's not until we go without something, but we're more appreciative of the blessing and we're more grateful for when we get that something we're waiting for. But I just was in a space of meditating and being thankful for what I had already gotten, especially when it came down to just smaller things. So I blogged at betterthanwine.net and NicoleDMiller.com, just my own experiences of God's provision and recognizing that I believe there is just a type of grace that's manifested in each of our lives. So I believe there is grace across the board because of who God is, but I also believe it manifests differently to each of us because we're all very unique. And I didn't always, feel that way. I was kind of black and white. I was really kind of rigid in that way. I just had a cookie cutter view of my faith, and it was more formula based, but now I see that it's very unique. We're all different for a reason, and I think when those differences come together, we get to see the fullness of the divine. But I do think that there are just certain things that I may never go through, simply because of my calling and identity. And I think there are certain things I'm called to go through because of that. But I can just look back and see like, wow, there's just been a level of protection. Even more recently, I had some interesting news of just a level of deception from a certain individual that I felt like they demonstrated in my life. And I'm just grateful that God protected me even when I didn't know, like it just reminds me like, wow, I'm really his daughter. Wow, there is a level of protection over my life, over my calling, over my being, even when I'm unaware, and especially when I'm unaware. And I just wanted to meditate on that and encourage you guys to do the same. So in the blog, I just ask, what things do you see in your life that you can just see that level of protection? How do you see God's grace manifesting in your life? Feel free to comment on the blog post. You can also follow me on my IG and DM me. My old IG is at HTOHB, which stands for How to Overcome Heartbreak, but you can also follow Nicole.dmiller. And my email is NicoleDMiller1983@gmail.com. So I think actually my Twitter is Nicole D. Miller. So scratch that. Go to my Twitter is Nicole D. Miller, and then my email is NicoleDMiller1983@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Word of the Day Wednesdays. Check out my blog. I will actually be definitely go to my Instagram because I'm going to be doing an interview this Saturday at 1 p.m. And I'm really excited about this interview with the Sage coach. She's a relationship coach, and we definitely are cut from the same cloth. We have a lot in common. We're both authors. We're both spiritual women. So check out my interview with her on her Facebook Live, but go to my IG to see the latest post I did on that to get the information. Then I'm going to be at an event, which I haven't posted about yet, but I will tomorrow. That's going to be held in Cleveland. So I will be selling books there. So stay tuned. You can also sign up for my monthly newsletter at NicoleDMiller.com. Thank you guys for joining.